Hi guys, Mrs. Homan here with another science video. This is the first of a 3-part video series on human impact on Earth. We will be starting with natural resources and human impact on land, then human impact on water, and last human impact on air. So let's get started. Natural resources are any natural material that is used by humans such as water, air, soil, minerals, petroleum, plants, and animals. Earth's natural resources provide everything necessary for life on Earth. There are two types of natural resources, renewable and non-renewable. A renewable resource is a resource that can be replaced at the same or faster rate than which it is consumed. For example, solar energy, water, and air. A non-renewable resource is a resource that forms at a much slower rate than it is consumed. For example, minerals like iron, copper, and aluminum, and fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas. Once these are used up, they are gone. Additionally, some renewable resources can be used up too quickly or not used wisely and can become non-renewable. For example, pumping more carbon dioxide into the air than plants can convert into oxygen. Now that we know our different types of resources, we're going to begin discussing the impact humans are having on these resources as they relate to land, water, and air. There are three main types of land use: mining, agriculture for farming, and development, which means buildings like houses, shopping malls, and roads. Land degradation is the process by which human activity and natural processes damage land to the point that it can no longer support the local ecosystem. Today, we will be discussing 6 different types of land degradation. Of course, there are more than just these 6, but these are the 6 we will be discussing in class. We have urban sprawl, nutrient depletion, pollution from chemicals, deforestation, desertification, and erosion. First, urban sprawl. Urban sprawl is when urbanization occurs at the edge of a city or town. Forests, fields, and grasslands are replaced with houses, roads, schools, and other such buildings. In South Florida, we are very familiar with this. We have drained the Everglades to push the available land for houses and other development into what used to be marshland. As this continues, it decreases the available habitat for native plants and animals while increasing the size of the city or town. Second, nutrient depletion. Crops use the nutrients in soil to grow. If the same crops are planted year after year, over time those nutrients will get used up and the crops will be unable to grow. We have touched on this idea in our ecology unit when we discussed the relationship between producers and decomposers. Decomposers recycle nutrients used by plants and animals back into the soil so that they are available for the producers to grow again. However, if the same crops are planted year after year, there is not enough time for the soil to recuperate the nutrients that were used. Without making it too complicated, simply different crops like legumes, wheat, soybeans, root vegetables, and fruits have different nutritional needs. They take certain amounts of those nutrients like minerals out of the soil and put others in. Therefore, if farmers plant the same crop in the same field year after year, the amount of the nutrients that crop needs will decrease over time. Eventually, there will be no more of that nutrient in the soil, and the plants will not grow. In order to get anything to grow, the farmers will have to use fertilizers to artificially add those nutrients back into the soil, which leads us to our next type of land degradation. Pollution from chemicals. Farmers frequently use herbicides, plant and weed killers, pesticides, insect or pest killer, and fertilizers to keep weeds and bugs away from crops and to add nutrients to the soil to combat the nutrient depletion we have already discussed. If these chemicals are washed into other areas, it can kill natural vegetation. For example, a big rainstorm washes pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers from a farm into the Everglades. Even though this is not where those chemicals were intended to be used, the pesticides kill native populations of butterflies and bees, the herbicides kill native plants, and the sudden influx of nutrients from the fertilizer causes an algal bloom in the river. Many of the plants and animals that live there die. More examples of pollution from chemicals including oil spills, chemical waste, and mining waste. Fourth, deforestation. Deforestation is the removal of trees and other vegetation from an area. This can be caused by many things, including logging for wood, surface mining, and clearing the land for agriculture. Fifth, desertification. Desertification is the process by which land becomes more desert-like and unable to support life. This is caused by overgrazing by livestock and other poor farming methods, such as nutrient depletion and chemical pollution, as we have already discussed. And last, we have erosion. Erosion is a process by which wind, water, or gravity transports soil and sediment from one place to another. We've discussed this before as part of our rock cycle unit. Roots of plants hold soil in place. If plants are removed due to any of the previously described reasons, then soil will be exposed and degraded by erosion. Although it is an important step in the creation of sedimentary rock, increased amounts of erosion can be bad for the environment. The last thing we are going to discuss in this video are the ways we can preserve our limited land resources. First, to combat urban sprawl, reduce urban sprawl. Encourage local governments to mitigate the expansion of cities and towns into neighboring natural areas. Second, preservation, protecting the land through laws such as creating state and national parks. Third, reforestation, planting new trees in areas that have been deforested. This is typically not as good as preserving the land to begin with. Reforestation commonly uses only one type of tree placed in perfect rows, which is not the same as the original biodiversity seen in forest and does not retain as much carbon as what they call old-growth forests, but it is better than leaving it deforested. Fourth, land reclamation. Land reclamation is the process of returning damaged land to its original condition. For example, removing roads, buildings, and reforesting. There are efforts currently underway in the Everglades to remove dikes and raise roadways to allow the historical flow of water to resume. Fifth, recycling. If we recycle things like aluminum cans, paper, and plastic, it will decrease the need for them to be removed from the land. This could cause less mining for metals and minerals, less logging for paper, and less oil drilling to make plastics. Last, soil conservation. There are many ways to conserve soil and prevent things like nutrient depletion, pollution from chemicals, and desertification, such as crop rotation, making sure not to plant the same crops in the same fields over and over, crop diversity, managed grazing for farm animals, pest management, diversity, and physically removing weeds instead of using herbicides. To summarize, natural resources can be either renewable or non-renewable. Land degradation is a process by which human activity and natural processes damage land to the point that it can no longer support the local ecosystem. The 6 types of land degradation are urban sprawl, nutrient depletion, pollution from chemicals, deforestation, desertification, and erosion. And the 6 methods of land preservation are reducing urban sprawl, preservation, reforestation, land reclamation, recycling, and soil conservation. Thank you so much for watching. Have a marvelous day.